In this episode, I got quick and easy Easter decor. Welcome to CJ DIY. I am C. My inspiration came from Pinterest and I wanted to make my own version. I'm gonna be using this wooden cross from Dollar Tree. I'm gonna paint it with a weathered wood DIY paint first. And with Easter coming up soon, he is the reason for the season. I'm gonna be creating some religious DIYs. Now that I covered the whole cross on one side, I'm gonna be creating the crackle effect, and I'm gonna show it on two ways. I got the crackle from folk art first, so that's the first side that I'm gonna be using, and I'm gonna show you the difference. Now that the cross is dry, I'm just going with a brush to cover the whole cross with this crackle medium to see if it's gonna be better to use this crackle medium that I used before, and with the Elmer's glue, school glue. So now after I cover it, I let it dry a little bit, and now I'm gonna cover my cross with a chalk paint in color white. You will need a good amount of paint on your brush, so you don't need to go over on top of the paint. So you just do, as you can see, I'm just doing one line to cover the whole cross. I am repeating the same step on the back of the cross after the paint is dry. This time I'm gonna be adding Elmer's school glue and covering it all, and I want to see the difference between the school glue and the actual crackle medium effect. So now after I cover my cross with the glue, I'm doing the same thing with the paint and a brush, covering the whole cross with it. And while I'm still painting, I can see the crackle is affecting on the Elmer's glue better than the crackle medium that I use on the other side. And I think I'm gonna go with the glue effect better than the crackle medium from folk art. I'm using this 18-inch grapevine wreath purchased from Michael's. It was on sale for like $4 and some change. After I remove the tag, now it's time to create my wreath. I got this beautiful bouquet. It was only one branch and I got it on sale for $4 and some change, also from Michael's. And I cut off all those beautiful florals with the leaves and branches, and now I'm just gonna add them on one side of my wreath. So I'm trying to work parallel. Whatever I add on top, I'm adding the same flower and leaf on the bottom as well. I'm just adding a little bit of hot glue. I don't think that's necessary, but just to make it more sturdy, because this one will be on my outdoor. I'm leaving empty space between the top and the bottom flowers, as you can see, and that space gonna be for a large bow that I'm gonna create after I add all those flowers in it. It's so simple and easy to create wreath like this. You just need to have the good quality of flowers and the colors that you like, and you're gonna have a perfect wreath that you don't need to spend a fortune. Now that I added my flowers on one side, on the other side I'm gonna be adding my cross. On top of the cross, I'm gonna be adding this faith word. I got this from my stash. It was galvanized. I painted with a weathered DIY paint, and now before I glue it also with the fingers, I'm just gonna dab and give a little bit of golden distressing on top of the faith word, so I can light it up a little bit and give some statement to it. And I think it's gonna look super cute. I don't cover it all, but I'm just doing a little bit of distressing with the fingers. I'm adding a hot glue on the back of the word, and I'm gonna glue it right in the middle of my cross, and I think it looks just perfect. And this wreath can be not just for Easter, can be as a everyday decor, because we are celebrating God every single day. To add the cross to the wreath, I'm gonna be adding a little wire. This is from my flower branches. I cut off a small wire and I'm gonna glue it on the back of the cross. I'm also adding some paper tag just to make it more sturdy. And now with the wire will be way easier to add the cross on the wooden wreath. I'm adding a glue on the edges of the wire, and now it's way easier to add it to the wooden wreath, make it more sturdy. I'm creating a large bow with my bow maker and this beautiful lace ribbon that I got in my stash, and I am creating 8 loops, large loops for this bow. It's so easy. I just go on one side and then parallel on the other side until I fully made this large bow. This ribbon is facing only lace ribbon on top. I wanted to make sure that I got the lace part of the bow, so I'm just gonna flip off the ribbon just like so, as you can see me, and have the lace facing on my ribbon. The only part I didn't like about this ribbon, it had a lot of glitter, and I would suggest if you have a glittery ribbon and you don't want that glitter to be all over the place, you can add hairspray and the glitter will stop falling. Now that I got my bow, I'm gonna tie it with the twine in the middle, and also I'm making one little loop to add it right in the middle, and I'm gonna tie it with the twine that I had on my bow, and that's it. After this, I'm gonna add the bow on my wreath, and we are done with this quick and easy and cute decoration. Now that I add my bow on my wreath, I'm gonna cut off the edges as a ducktail, and that's it. I'm so happy that I'm a part of Recreation Inspiration Open Challenge. It's hosted by my darling friends Amanda and Charleen, Six Kids and Glue Gun and Crafty Art Shack. They're hosting this Recreation Inspiration Challenge every month. So if you're a creator, you should join us. And I'm the guest host this month. Also, there is a playlist with so many talented creators. Please check them all out and show them lots of love. Their channels, along with the playlist, are linked in my description box. Enjoy. For my next creation, I am inspired by my darling friend Jackie from Crafting in Mimi's World. She is creating amazing religious DIY, and a huge shout out to her. I'm gonna be using these wooden cutouts that I got long time from Michael's. I'm gonna stain them with antique wax from Waverly, and with a baby wipe I'm gonna remove the stain so I can have that stain look on my letters. I'm gonna be adding them on this wooden crate from Dollar Tree. Also, I'm gonna be adding a wooden slice and a cross cutout, all from Dollar Tree. Now that my letters are dry, I'm gonna position them on my crate and creating He Is Risen tabletop decoration for tier tray. If you like to recreate this decoration, also Dollar Tree is selling wooden letter cutouts, also some stickers. I mean, you can create in any way and style that you prefer. This time I wanted to make this like a primitive, rustic, vintage look, and I think it looks just perfect, ready for Easter. Now that I add the letters like I wanted to, I'm gonna be adding the cross in the middle, and I'm gonna glue them with the wood glue. So I grab my little brush and adding a glue and just gluing them on top of this crate. To make my sign as a tabletop, I grab another crate that I cut in half, and now I'm just adding a glue, and I'm gonna add my sign right in the middle of the ribs of that crate. I am also cutting the twine handle that crate came with, because we're gonna be using this as a tier tray decor. And for extra embellishment, I'm just adding some dry moss on the bottom to give that extra vintage rustic look. And that's it for this quick and easy and beautiful decoration. For my next creations, I am inspired by my darling friend Emily from Farm Charm Chic. She's been creating these wooden blocks for tier tray, and since I have a leftover blocks from Christmas, I'm gonna be creating some cute Easter spring decor. And this time I'm gonna make my blocks reversible. So on one side, I'm gonna be adding Mr. Bunny and Mrs. Bunny. They look like professors to me, ready to go to school. So I added a Mod Podge on those cutouts, and I'm just adding them on my blocks. Since this is not a right sheet for a decoupage, there is some wrinkles and bubbles on them. So I just grabbed my parchment paper, and with my mini press, I'm just smoothing my cutouts on my wood. On the other side, I'm adding Easter greetings with these red eggs and chickens. And we're gonna Mod Podge them as well, so we can have a reversible look for those wooden blocks. To smooth them out, I'm just using my decoupage brayer, and then to remove the excess, I'm just gonna cutting them off with my scissors. And this is an idea. You can always decoupage if you have some cute napkin or some decoupage sheet or some tissue. I mean, this is just an idea for you. Everybody have a different taste and style. Dollar Tree also have a beautiful stickers that you can use and add on a wooden block and create a cute minis for your tier tray ready for spring and Easter decorations. Now that I cut them all off, I'm just gonna smooth them out with my sanding block, and now I'm just distressing them a little bit with my distressing brush and my antique wax. If you want to leave them clean and not rustic, you don't need to do the antique wax. You can add some paint around the frame. I mean, like I mentioned, everybody have a different taste, and I am so much into this rustic farmhouse look. For extra embellishment, I'm going to be adding those ribbons from Dollar Tree as a frame around the tabletop, and I'm going to glue it on the bottom part of it. I wanted to leave those simple, just with adding the ribbon around them, but you can always add some florals, greeneries in any way that you like. For my other tabletop, I decided to go with this twine ribbon from Dollar Tree, and I think it looks just perfect and cohesive. For my next creation, I'm going to be using these Christmas tags that I got in my stash, and I'm going to just make them reversible. On one side, I'm going to leave them for a Christmas decoration, and then on the other side, I'm just going to create Easter tags. I got some leftover from my Easter cutouts, so I'm just going to decoupage them with the Mod Podge and creating perfect tags for tier trays or for a basket, Easter baskets that we can just wrap our gifts around and just add one of those tags on them. So simple. I'm just adding a Mod Podge, and I'm adding all those Easter cutouts that I got. To smooth them out, I'm just using my decoupage brayer, and then I'm cutting off the excess on them, and then to seal them, I'm adding a matte finish Mod Podge, and my tags are almost done. Also, I'm gonna be adding a twine and one bead on them and I'm gonna tie the twine on top. On some of my tags, I added a stained wooded bead. On some of them, I just added a white bead. I found this rustic piece from a thrift store, and as soon as I saw it, I said that I'm gonna be using those spindles this time as carrots. So I'm just cutting them off just to get those spindles out of this shelving. I don't know what it was. And I'm just cutting them on both sides, just like so. Now that I loosened them with my cutting tool, I'm using my miter shear to cut them all off. And this is what I got. I got 3-4 carrots out of this thrifted piece. And I'm gonna be using these wooden pieces with who knows what left over. And now I'm gonna clean them off very well with the alcohol wipe, and they're ready for decorations. I didn't want it to add any paint on them. I like the colors on them for now. And to smooth out the edges, I just grabbed my sanding block, and they're ready for decorations. Also, for extra embellishment, I'm adding this crochet ribbon from Dollar Tree. I'm just tying my 3-4 carrots with it. I didn't want it to add some greeneries. I just left them simple as that. But if you have doilies like this, also you can glue some greeneries on top as stamps, and it's gonna look super cute as a decorative statement for Easter and spring. Also, I added one of those tags on top of my carrots, and they're ready for decorations. I hope I gave you tons of inspirations. Don't forget to check out amazing Amanda, Charleen, and all those talented creators in the playlist. And until next time, I'm sending you lots of love, lots of music, positive energy, blessings from me to you. Bye-bye.